What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Viles here at the audio studios. Everybody's together. We're in J. King's hot ride. So we're here chilling, talking about She-Hulk. Joining me as always is little brother Jayce. Bro, Shot, how you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Coolin'. Chief.
Hey.
You don't have to be that loud. I mean, we're all right here.
Oh, hey.
There you go. Radio voice. J. King, welcome back. How we doing?
Man, I've been on a hiatus dealing with everything. I appreciate being back here with y'all, man. It's a beautiful day. Y'all wouldn't know it because you're listening, but the gangs are here.
Shout out to Gunner, who is still not here back off of his extended hiatus. But yeah, so we're here to talk about She-Hulk. Season finale dropped this week, maybe series finale, and it was something. It happened, and I'm not quite sure what to say happened.
Neither are they.
But something did play out,
For 40 minutes.
You know, we thought, we've been talking about this all this time. This show has been kind of weird. They knew they had 9 episodes, but I felt like very much like the kid who knew at the beginning of the school year when the test was. They somehow forgot when the season finale was. And was like, oh, shoot, we need to start writing an ending to this. And then...
Was I supposed to go to that class?
Right.
Oh,
I missed that class. They were like, shoot, can we magic eraser an ending? Yes. How can we do that? Let's call Kevin. So, to set everything up, She-Hulk was paying for her crimes, raging out, because as a woman, she was really well versed in keeping control of her temper, until she wasn't. And then she was in jail, much like Abomination. So we can't say that she was treated unfairly, because that's what happened. But she didn't break Harlem. So she's in prison, and her crew comes by to visit her, and apparently it's not one visitor for She-Hulk. She can have as many crew as she wants. And
You remember that from the first episode?
Sorry. And then she gets out. She has to wear the inhibitor chip, and everything's bad. She loses her job, and she's back home with her folks. Now, this is the most realistic thing in the show. She couldn't afford to pay her rent, so she had to leave.
No savings.
Right, because she's a lawyer, an attorney at law. Because lawyers would not have savings.
Actually, that is a fact.
That checks
No, sorry. That is extra accurate.
Jen didn't look like she was 20.
And she didn't look like she wore anything amazing and drove anything amazing either.
Jen is a lawyer, had student loans. Okay.
She's working at a farm for superpowered clients. And
weren't they? She had a corner. This is San Fran right there, right? San Francisco?
It was some random area that
LA,
we never got.
Okay, Metropolis, California, right? Metropolis, West Coast, right? And she had a corner office that looked like a, I don't know, $1 million condo in Midtown.
Yeah.
Right?
it was nice.
Yeah, she was getting paid.
Jen didn't negotiate that contract.
But again,
that salary well.
She had been working at that firm for what, 2 months? I don't know how time works.
And she is a woman. They probably paid her in
They probably lowballed
Marie
her.
Claire's and
Here's some shekels.
it's a Sephora gift card.
Or the fact that she had actually gotten that job because she was She-Hulk.
Yeah. So it was very interesting. So She-Hulk is no more. And Jen's now upset because I always wanted to be She-Hulk. I didn't realize how much I missed her until everybody told me I couldn't be She-Hulk. So now she's home, and Nikki's like, well, listen, this isn't the end of it. And I thought it was hilarious because Nikki and Pug once again have to save the day, much like they got her outfit, and they got to clear her and crack the intelligentsia
Make
code.
a show worth watching.
I mean, it's like her spunky sidekicks were the stars of the show, which is weird. So Pug has to go undercover as a doofus dude, and he doesn't understand how to do that. So Nikki has to walk him through it. That was helpful because, most dudes on this show suck.
Yeah. He didn't know how to be a woman-hating man.
Yeah.
Because he's never been online to actually read 2 minutes of women-hating men talk about stuff. Yeah. He's not smart enough to figure out how to do that as a lawyer.
Yeah. He couldn't blend. So, of course, he sees the one dude he knows, Todd, who just so happens to be Hulkling, the leader of the intelligentsia. And Todd doesn't seem smart enough to have done any of this or care enough about She-Hulk to put together a She-Hulk bashing website.
Or the fact that the Hulkling wasn't smart enough, Todd wasn't smart enough to know that Pug might actually still be cool with She-Hulk.
And that Pug really was the only person with the earpiece in. Nikki assured him that there would be more people with earpieces, yet he was the only one with one AirPod hanging.
Like a super AirPod, too, at that.
Right.
That joint was like 4 inches long.
Massive. And why does everybody in these TV shows act like they've never used it before? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, man.
And
I mean, it's like he takes calls on it probably daily.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Great. I can't hear you. Speak up. What?
What?
So Pug is struggling trying to learn how to use the AirPod, and Nikki's outside apparently not knowing how to use a Wi-Fi or 5G.
22.
Yes. She's like, the reception here is lousy, which was established because, big surprise, big shock, the intelligentsia is meeting at Abomination's retreat getaway. Now, I don't know why the intelligentsia would want to go somewhere with no Wi-Fi.
Or another superhuman-powered being.
Or another superpowered being who fought the Hulk.
Right.
Unless Abomination was the criminal mastermind behind all of this. He was just lying about having all these secret wives. He was setting them up. This was his long con to get payback on Hulk, starting with his cousin, She-Hulk. And that was like, man, this show pulled it all together. Amazing.
Jeff, I'm sorry, that wasn't the case.
That's not what happened?
That's not what happened.
Oh.
No, sorry.
Oh, that's right. Abomination.
They didn't actually remember to take the test, so they didn't have the answer to the test.
They forgot their own episode. I was like, oh, this would be so great if Abomination was really just fooling everybody. He's still like, hey guys, here, yeah. Like, did you just rent out the place to these guys? And why would they go there? To Abomination's retreat.
Like
It's so far away.
So technologically savvy.
Right.
You should go to the one place with no Wi-Fi.
And then why wouldn't you still want to steal his powers? He was more
Raging Hulk.
well, he was more popular than She-Hulk. I mean, he's been around.
He actually did a crime.
He did something. Like, She-Hulk has done nothing. This story was about nothing. This whole eight episodes of nothing.
9 episodes. Don't cheat them, sir.
I'm gonna be honest, man.
He's giving that Daredevil one episode away.
The opposite of amazing is She-Hulk. And so from now on, when somebody, man, if I'm having a bad day and somebody, yo, how's your day going? Man, it's She-Hulk. You know, I heard your grandmother died, man. I'm She-Hulk for you. You know what I mean? What's going on with your rent? I can't pay it. Oh, man, looks like you're going to have to She-Hulk on the streets, huh? You know what I mean? So everything bad. It looks like nuclear She-Hulk's about to take place. That's just from now on, man. She-Hulk was so bad, man.
It's become a verb and an adjective
Yeah, man.
and a noun. It's
You know
all,
what I mean?
All of the same sentence.
all things.
You know, it's like that coworker with that dead tooth who gets within like 3 inches of your face to say good morning, and that tooth, and you know, you all work at the same place, so you know he's got a dental plan. But he doesn't never go to the dentist. You like, man, what are you gonna do with that dead tooth, man? You just, and it's just hitting you, and you blinking. You got the blinkies, and that's that She-Hulk. That's that She-Hulk. That dead tooth, 3 inches from your face, just powerful, pungent aroma that will, you know what I mean? That nothing. It just kind of floats back around the room and gets back at you again. Excuse me, sir. I got other people to visit. I'll be back in 10 minutes. And that's She-Hulk. It is a dead tooth, pungent. Your grandmother died. There will be war. You know what I mean? You lost your leg in a boating accident. You know what I mean? McGuire. You know what I mean? Just type. It was so bad. I remember just my dogs looked over at me and they were like, man, what the hell's going on? And I was like, yo, I want to tell y'all something. Like, I want to be able to explain this to you, but I'm not quite sure what's going on either.
All right, Chief, well, let me explain what happened. All right, so Jen decides that very night, I need to go hang out with Mill. Like, there are plenty of times where she could have gotten some solace and comfort with the crew of reject villains and superheroes, but she decided, tonight I'm going to go over there. And it was a good thing because this just so happened to be the night that Abomination was switched back over to become an Abomination for no real reason outside of being a special guest star. Maybe this is how he was funding the retreat. And she was like, Emil, what are you doing? And then Titania crashes through, and then Hulk crashes through, and Jen starts talking to us. This is ridiculous. And I'm like, you are absolutely right. And she's like, wait a second. Now, this was clever. She crashed through the Marvel Universe.
This was funny.
On the app. I love that. I thought that was clever because that's kind of stuff she would do in the comic book. And then she goes to Marvel Studios location. She goes to the writer's studio and tries to make sense of what's going on this season. Specifically, Todd hulking out, going, come at me, bro. All that good stuff. And then they were like, yeah, we've got a good idea. Let's stretch this out for 20 minutes. And then it was like, well, she's going to go talk to Kevin. Kevin's an AI. And they're getting some good jokes. Yeah, the VFX team has gone on to do some other projects. Get the little Wakanda Forever. That was cool. And Jen's like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the X-Men. That was good. But then it was a lot of, well, I want to do this because it's inconvenience to me. And let's get rid of all the potential elements of drama. Let's get rid of Hulk because this is my show. And nobody cares about him. Let's make Todd not a bro who's stolen my blood. So everything that happened leading up to that with Josh, all those things that would have made Todd a criminal got wiped out.
No, he still stole her identity, and was mean to her. Yeah, like I mean, the whole stealing the phone was a crime.
Did he steal the phone, or did Josh?
He had someone else do it, but he potentially was the mastermind.
I mean, he didn't technically steal the phone; he copied the phone.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Yeah, I mean, but this whole 8 episodes was illegal. So, you know what I mean? Like, they stole your time. So, I feel like we should go back in time and decide not to watch this.
Maybe we should just borrow the time stone.
Yeah.
Just...
yeah. I mean, she could have fixed a lot of things. I
mean, Infinity War was right on that menu, wasn't it?
It was on there.
I'm like, you know what, Thanos? Don't snap.
Don't snap.
Kevin, I don't want him to snap anymore, okay?
You know?
Okay, Jennifer, you are correct.
We could have got the original Gamora and old girl back, Black Widow.
Yeah, she could have saved Black Widow. She could have been down at the cliff and caught her. I got you.
Women power! You know what I mean? Just caught her. Yeah, you're right, man. There's a lot of things that could have been done in this episode. But the one thing was, really, at some point, we could have all turned it off. Because, like I said, man, she gets in there, she's talking to old boy. They do a couple of, can I transfer, can you take the camera off of me when I transfer because it costs a lot of money? And I was like, yo, if that She-Hulk is costing a lot of money, because that She-Hulk itself was garbage. I mean, isn't it? I mean, am I right or am I right?
I felt like She-Hulk's CGI this episode was
it can't cost
5% better than it was normally.
Okay. I thought that the head they put on the figure when they were going back in time doing the old Hulk flashbacks, I thought that was made more sense than...
No, that was terrible. I was like, gosh.
It looked better than the She-Hulk we've been working with. I mean,
I don't know, man.
Listen.
I mean, you can go on Instagram and find several women who cosplay as She-Hulk that would have been just fine. But you did mention that opening. That was great. The throwback to the old David. Yeah, the David banner. I think they call him David because they thought Bruce was an effeminate name back then. Very progressive 70s. And Lou Ferrigno. That was cool. And then it was like, all right, well, everything's taken care of because Jen just decided she didn't want to go through the conflict. And that was cool because it was really indicative of the series. Jen didn't want to have to deal with the conflict, so she got around it using her lawyer abilities. See, the show was more about her journey of self-discovery than fighting anyone.
True, and she's smarter than you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. There is that.
Stop having sex with every guy that smiles with her.
Jen can't lose.
It's her prerogative, right?
It's her.
I'm not saying. Look, this is the part that really irked me about this show, right? Liberated women do what they're gonna do, and they have fun. And that's nobody's taking away from that. But don't beat the cowbell for feminism when you're going against feminism at the same time. What do you stand for? Nothing. Jen was an insecure thought for most part. And that's a real sore point for the whole thing. She was an insecure thought. Everything's going to be solved if I could just get a man, whether I'm Jen or She-Hulk.
Right.
Shut
That's
up.
true.
Why are you demeaning yourself? You be a woman. Be strong. Be powerful. Be everything you keep claiming you are. Right? With that.
Nikki seemed like she was.
I agree, Jovon.
Nikki was the more feminist character, which was interesting. Because they were just like, she just did her thing, solved problems, helped her friends out.
Yeah, like the show, like what Jen should have been.
Yeah.
But she'll probably have the next show.
Good.
Maybe they'll team Agatha and Nikki up.
I love Agatha.
They'll make them a team up.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
What was the point of
Titania was to troll everybody who wanted to have a She-Hulk villain in the show. That was the point of Titania.
There was no point to any of the villains. That's what I'm saying.
Why did they have the Wrecking Crew in there?
There was
to
no
troll everyone.
point. Any of the villains there, they had nothing. It was nothing. Like the dumbest villain was the Frogman. Like that's who gave them. That's who the action scene came from. That had the most bite of the whole thing was the Frogman action scene.
This dude had frog-themed arcade games.
Right.
I was not going to hate on
henchmen.
him at all.
Yeah, man.
But the most important things that happened was Daredevil showed up in his yellow and red outfit, and then Hulk brought his son Scar,
Flatiron, man.
which was so weird because, you know, when you look at the whole 9 episodes of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, she didn't really accomplish much, but decide I can be a superhero and a lawyer.
What superhero was
I
she?
thought it was 8 episodes.
What?
It was
What?
9 episodes.
Seriously, she wasn't a superhero.
Yeah, she teamed up with Wong and she beat up Leapfrog, and she fought Titania at a wedding that Titania should have never known about in the first place.
Why was she there?
Like, does everybody have Jen's social calendar on there?
Maybe, because as Jovon indicated, she puts it out there for the public.
That's just stupid.
Read that as you will.
That's just stupid.
So, yeah. So I think the main takeaway was that we didn't see everything that played out on Planet Hulk, and maybe we'll see World War Hulk, and maybe we'll see She-Hulk again, maybe. But I didn't feel like she was a real vital, integral part to the MCU.
I'm gonna tell you, man. She made me want to watch Supergirl. And when you compare the two, you realize Supergirl wasn't that bad.
I will argue that Supergirl's first 3 seasons. When was rain season? Was it season 4 or 3?
I think it was 4.
Okay. Supergirl's first 4 seasons were just fine. After that, it fell off a major cliff of back padding and look at how great and diverse we are. But the rain season was great. I would put that rain season up against most shows right up until the season finale with the whole 3 witches. But when rain was there, it was great. We had these 4 women hanging out, chilling, doing cool stuff, and not worrying about dudes. They were just having a good time, and it was fine. After that, it just I don't know what they were doing, but they lost it.
Well,
The
Supergirl.
She-Hulk.
I'd rather watch Supergirl than She-Hulk.
Hey, maybe we'll get a Lex Luthor with a clean-shaven face too.
No.
No.
You have a handlebar mustache?
Well, no,
Yeah,
we
full
got
beard.
Titans Lex Luthor, which is going to be garbage.
Who's that guy? What's that?
Titus Welliver.
Oh yeah, okay. Is that
He had some show on Showtime, I believe.
who was the Lex Luthor with the
John Cryer.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The John Cryer Lex Luthor, man.
He wasn't that bad. He needed to
It's
lose
John
the
Cryer.
beard.
He didn't have much to work with.
You looking at John Cryer, though. All I can see is John
what I had to
Cryer.
work with.
Ducky.
You know what I mean? I couldn't see nothing past that, man. Like I said, Supergirl, yeah, man.
All right, well, fellas, real fast, you guys got any nominees for Dummies of the Week? Bro Shot, let's start with you.
Gosh. What Kanye do this week? Actually, no. I'm gonna give it to Herschel Walker. Man,
Oh, my
for just
God.
trying to bring out his fake Paw Patrol badge on this debate stage. Like, I'm sorry.
Herschel on one, ain't he? Ain't he? And his little weird son.
This little weirdo son. Hey, Georgia, if y'all elect this ignorant Gibbon into that, oh my God, if he get into that governor's mansion.
Oh,
he
my
is a Gibbon.
God.
He can't talk. Herschel got up there, and for those who don't be knowing, I know the law. Get your
A
slave.
Weeba Jeeba Weeba.
My nominee is the prime scumbag himself, Brett Favre, for saying he was unjustly smeared in the media and wants to set the record straight over him ripping off massive welfare from homes from people in Mississippi. This dude's ridiculous. He's saying,
What's his defense?
They was going to buy drugs with it anyway. That's what the poor do. It was just going to drugs anyway.
I have been unjustly smeared in the media. I've done nothing wrong, and it is past time to set the record straight.
You get him,
No one ever told me, and I did not know the funds designated for welfare recipients were going to the university or me.
You know what?
Although
Can we keep it
Oh,
quiet?
wait.
text with his with one of the state officials does tend to indicate that he did know, and he was said in those texts, "How can we keep this from
Right.
getting out to the people?"
Right.
Could
Don't
the
let
media
yeah,
not
don't-
find out about where
don't
this
let
money's coming
Don't
from?
let the media know.
Don't let the media know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Please don't. Yeah. And then in his text, if you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much?
Don't sound like a scumbag there. Not me.
Yeah, he's super scumbag. So yes, Brett, continue on with this one. And you, my friend, will continue to beat out Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, the not so baby goat, this week. Chief, who you got?
Man, I like all yours. To be honest with you, I didn't really think of a dummy of the week. But then I heard Herschel and I was like, yeah. And then I heard Brett and I was like, yeah. And then whoever Jovon name, I'm gonna be like, yeah.
All right, J. King, who you got?
Man, listen. Just to one more thing about that Brett thing, right? They tried to make Emi Udoka, even though that was scandalous as shit, though. I give it that. That was pretty scandalous how all that went down. But that's talking about you and me. Look, the thing about it is this. That wasn't half the story of what Brett Favre did.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. Hey, Brett Favre, he ought to be going to jail.
Exactly.
To jail for that.
Right now.
Right now, like now.
It should be processed.
And I'm like, is that going to be at the Fed or the state? That's going to be at the Fed level if they go. If it goes anyways at the Fed level, right?
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, it's not going to happen. But I was just saying, I was hoping it wouldn't go state because for what it's worth, Mississippi ain't locking up his favorite son. But you deserve it. Come on, man. You stole from him. Stop. Don't matter what they do with the money. They need the money. You don't. Anyway.
Hey, I got my Levi's commercials.
Hey.
They don't pay as much.
Copper tone just doesn't copper fit in as tight as they used to be.
Yeah.
I was
that
expecting
oxy's
to be
still
on that.
expensive.
What's that bullshit that Frank Thomas and his melon head ass sells at like 2 in the morning when you watch TV?
Hey, you need some testosterone,
You know what?
fake testosterone.
You think they ain't getting hard no more? Well, guess what? Text 2323 now to limp dick.
Frank is making an earnest, honest living. Brett can't get it up. He can't send any more pictures to reporters anymore. So he's just. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that was another scandal. with Brett Favre.
No. We don't talk
Sorry.
about Brett Favre scandals. We talk about. We don't get weeks of coverage of Brett Favre scandals somehow.
I'll happily do that. All right, well, fellas, thank you as always. We're gonna be back, bigger, better than ever, next week to talk about Walking Dead, Andor, and everything else that's crazy in between. Signing off from J. King's truck. This episode allows
Kanye, please stop.
has been filed.